the early 1960s, the Elmer Keith, Bill Jordan, and a guy by the name of Skeeter Skeleton uh, lobbied Remington Arms and Smith & Wesson to introduce a 41 caliber uh, police cartridge with the objective of filling a perceived ballistic performance gap between the 357 Magnum and the 44 Magnum. 1964, Remington responded by introducing the 41 Magnum cartridge, and Smith & Wesson followed suit by developing the Model 57 Smith & Wesson in 41 Magnum caliber. I think the proposed name for this would have been 41 Police, but Remington, instead they chose 41 Magnum. I think at the time they wanted to capitalize on the Magnum name, probably for, purposes, sales purposes and that. So it was introduced in 1964, and the Model 57 came in the 4-inch or 6-inch, 6.5, 8 and 3/8-inch barrels. They come in blued steel or nickel at the time. They used the Smith & Wesson large end frame. They're a pretty good sized pistol. Model 57 is one of the company's premier pistols. I mean, revolvers. These things were hand fitted, and a lot of hand work went into making these revolvers. As you can tell by looking at this one. I mean, they were basically the same thing as the Model 29, except in the 41 caliber. The 44 caliber, the Model 29 had a bullet diameter of 429. This one had a bullet diameter of 410, so a true 41 caliber. Due to a number of, unfortunately, 41 Magnum, for a number of reasons, 41 Magnum really never became the great next police loading. The developers thought that it might. I think a majority of the department's rank and file officers at the time were perfectly content carrying their 38 specials, Model 10s and such. They needed more power. They had 357 Magnum that was available. And in addition, when the police officials could really be convinced to evaluate the 41 Magnum, a lot of the officers shooting it found it, even the low, the pistol rounds were there quite a bit of recoil and quite a bit of muzzle jump on the 41 Magnum. So a lot of them found it unpleasant to fire. So the marketing decision by Smith & Wesson Remington to dub the cartridge a Magnum also put a political spin on the revolver. Magnum being referred more to like a hunting gun or something like that. And at the time, in the 70s, the politics were what they were. So I don't think it really gained any traction with it. I think there was a few police departments that did. I think San Antonio, Texas, adopted the 41. San Francisco, California, but most chose to pass. In addition, the big brother, the 44 Magnum Model 29, I think the Model 57 struggled from the onset to garner much of the market share. Back when Clint Eastwood had the Dirty Harry movies out, the famous saying, this is the most powerful handgun in the world, a 44 Magnum. That was the phrase, and this is the 41 Magnum. It was a popular hunting gun. It is a good target gun. It didn't really have all the recoil that the 44 Magnum did, but it did bark a little bit. I myself did hunt with it, and I did shoot deer with it. You got to be careful when you're hunting with, especially big caliber revolvers. Make sure you're on target. It doesn't take much to miss, believe me. And I had to make a couple follow-up shots pretty quick to take the animal humanely. So I pretty much stuck to hunting deer with rifles. But that's not to say that you can't do that, but care needs to be taken. Uh, Finally, it got discontinued in 1993. I think it resurfaced in 2007 for a small bit of time. I think it was a stainless gun 4-inch for a couple of years, and then Smith and Wesson come out with their classic series. I think 2009 or 10, and with the new Smith and Wesson classic series, of course, they had the CNC frame. They also had the internal lock system. The little key where you'd put it on safe, and that was probably really not that popular with the collectors and some of the regular gun guys. I have one. I don't see that many problems with them. It's just a matter of what you like and things of that nature. When I bought this handgun, actually I was old enough to hunt with a handgun at the time, but I wasn't old enough to own one. So goes the laws. But my dad had to sign for this, and I remember working a whole summer after school and in summer, cutting brush and whatever to save the money. I think at the time the gun the price of the gun was $350 or $370. I couldn't remember which one, but I'd saved my money and I kept putting money down on it. And when I finally had enough to pay it all off, my dad went in and signed for it, and we took the gun home. And of course, my dad's long since passed away, and of course, this was technically his gun, and he left it to me. So I've had it for well over 40 years now. I'm in my 60s, and the revolver is still in pretty much the same condition it was when I bought it. So I think one of the tricks, and this might be useful to some of you, get a good holster. Bianchi makes these line holsters. I've had this for just as long as I've had the revolver, and they fit really. They're lined, and the handgun fits in these things just perfect. You can see, and you snap it together, and that's how I carry it around. It doesn't really wear. It's molded. It doesn't wear the bluing off like a regular hunter type holster would. So, hey, if you're interested in, or if you've shot one of these, or you have one of these, or you're interested in the content, it's been freezing cold here in Pennsylvania. I think it was minus 3 or 4 degrees this morning. I'm just kind of looking for something to do, and so I thought I'd make a few junk videos and have a little fun at it. And hey, let me know in the comments if you like something like this. Let me know if you don't. Let me know if I'm full of shit. Whatever you want to do, but leave a like and a comment, and I appreciate it. Thank you.